Hello, welcome back into the LCS Challengers League. We have our final series of the season for the Challengers League here on the line. Mazel beatdown. I'm kind of sad to say, it's the last one we have, but it's still going to be a banger. Team Liquid first versus FLYF. Just open-ended to both of you. How you feel about the last one we got?
I'm actually so hyped. Call me crazy. Maybe it's my Mazel's Hopium Emporium. But this is my most hype matchup of the day.
I'm with you, but I'm just sad that the season's going to end.
It is, but we get to spend it together, and I think that's the beautiful thing.
Fair. Beat, what do you got?
Glass half full kind of guy.
Oh, we don't have Beat. He's muted. All right, well...
I looked at my thing. No, you know what? Actually, Mazel, I should have left it. I want to know what you think, Len.
What do you
think I'm going to think?
What do I think that Beatdown wants to say? I hate it here with you guys. That's what he would say.
What?
Wow.
How did you know that?
Yeah, I just know. We're our synergy, man. We've been casting together so much.
You're right. Nah, jokes aside, I agree with you, Lennon. This is gonna be a banger, and I really mean that because these are two teams. Their standings will not change. It's just about pride. They are gonna throw everything they have at each other in this series, and I mean these are teams who are trying to improve as quickly as they can because we're sending 4 out of 6 teams to relegation promotion tournament. Remember that, guys.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, these teams are trying to improve as quickly as they can, show us their best so that they can, even if they have to go there, make it right back to NACL in summer.
Not only that, though, it is like an onion, if you will, but layers, because there is just
like
that kind of personal pride of it. No, not like an ogre. But it is also just both teams really putting a lot into these provisional versus provisional matchups to end out the season, right? Like every win does kind of matter, even if it doesn't in seeding. But especially when you also look at some of the personal relationships here, and also specifically Surdy and Lunacia having a little bit of track record.
And
so
let's talk about Surdy first. Let's look over at Team Liquid Honda first. This is going to be our last time we look at the rosters for the regular season of any.
We still didn't get pictures.
Yeah. I mean, LJX is understandable. We got him in late, but has actually looked really good for a player who was retired for a while, who hadn't played since collegiate, then joining here with trying to play with Rovex. I've got to give a lot of credit with how Team Liquid Honda first have looked as of late.
He looks better than the first game. That was really tough, but remember, he was subbing on 2 days' notice, so these things happen.
From
and
being a retired player, too.
Exactly. So the thing, too, to note with this roster, I mean, top jungle is where a lot of the action is. When this team is looking good, it's because Surdy and City are looking good.
Yeah.
Then on the other side, Zell, you were talking about Lunacia as well as Surdy. So looking at FLYF, we'll continue to praise Lunacia. I feel like this player has just completely defied all expectations.
We could talk about Lunacia all day long. I gotta give some praise to Hyper, though. Man.
I'm glad.
Hyper this weekend has been a monster, man. Like, he is actually insane, and it's a come up, right? Because we didn't see him to his full strength. I feel like what we've seen Hyper do in the past, and I think in this particular moment, especially the way that we're seeing him kind of opt into carries and Lunacia having so much strength. This matchup's going to be a bloodthirsty.
No, I'm really glad you brought that up, Lennon, because that was something I was going to say, and then I saw your hand movement. People can't see it because on our program for you, I can see his camera.
Because we're cool. We got
backstage access.
Exactly.
So I saw him put his hand up. I'll let Mazel talk. I thought you were going to talk about Lunacia, and then you talked about Hyper. I'm like, yes, this is the guy I'm glad you're talking about because he looked so good.
We're going to probably talk about Lunacia and Surdy all day long in the series. So, give a little praise where it's due for the weekend.
Yeah, but let's bring the conversation back to TLF, right? And how they looked, especially against the team that was lower than them in the standings in CLG Faith. How they played there on Saturday made me, it's one of those kind of, if you take an isolation, that team looks like they should be one of the top teams.
Yeah. But I mean, we don't do out of context things here.
Result-based analysis.
Yeah. I'm just saying only because the out of context NACL things are for the group DMs only. So in context, what we're really talking about here is that yes, TLF looked good against CLG
Very
Faith,
good.
but CLG Faith are also bottom of the standing. So Grain, maybe a handful of salt actually. This is the NACL Salt League. And with that in mind, TLF, again, when things look good for them, it's when Surdy and City are popping off. And that's like the thing we tend to focus on because that is where a lot of their strengths lie. Aspect as well has had some pretty good performances as of late. But I mean, I'm still looking at Surdy City.
I feel like you two are reading my mind right now. It's like Lennon
it's
first
the
with
last day,
hyperplay,
a culmination of 7 weeks.
and then Beatdown gets. I was like, but what about Aspect? He's looked like he's grown so much in this split, and so then Beats, he's already on top of it. He's got it. And you know what? I'm just gonna let you guys continue to read my mind. I'll let Mazel read my mind and see.
Don't do this.
I mean, you got it right the first time.
Don't do this. Don't do this.
We're gonna get to the FLYF.
Wait, can I do it? Can I do it?
Oh, okay, Beat, you can do it.
All right. You're obviously going to throw it to the FLYF clips. Oh my God, bro. I'm so smart. Like, how do I do this? Look at the FLYF clips.
He wanted an explanation.
That's not what he wanted? Bro, are you telling me you weren't going to throw it to the FLYF clips? Are you telling me that's a lie, Magical? Lennon?
And analyze the clips, damn it.
Okay, now after we have done establishing that I was right, FlyFam have had some pretty exciting wins as of late. I mean, they upset Immortals just recently, and that was honestly an exciting one, and even crazier when you consider who Immortals has beaten this weekend. Anyways, FlyFam, when they find their success, it's usually from drafts that really favor them. They play for the late game. I mean, in this Immortal series in particular is one where I kind of stand by that because this is a comp where, I mean, one, Lunacia gets to play Jax, which is actually banned away from him very often, and he has a lot of impact in these team fights, but it's also just that they have these scaling comps where in the late game, where they usually struggle, they've managed to pull through.
And you were talking about Lunacia and how getting that Jax, how that's when they've looked like they've been able to pull through. We actually have a little bit of an interview with the top laner of FlyFam. So let's hear what Lunacia has to say.
My biggest takeaway from playing this split was probably that I needed more self-discipline when it came to like taking care of my health. Obviously, there was a lot of like in-game stuff I learned, but the most important for me was that like I couldn't stay up and watch TikTok until 4 a.m. or till Q at midnight because I kept losing solo queue. This is my first split, so I didn't really change my habit until a couple weeks in, and I'm very grateful I did. I think all the teams are very good, and there's a little bit of like takeaway and stuff I learned facing them each game. For TLF on Monday, the top lane of City is actually a really close friend of mine, and I'm really looking forward to facing him. He helped me a lot when I didn't know anything.
So we were talking a little bit about the kind of personal aspects of this. Lunacia obviously looking up to Surdy, a lot of help coming his way, and I love to hear that. Obviously, Surdy passing down some of the lessons he's learned, but also shout outs to Lunacia who did that Photoshop of his picture, his own self. So there you go.
Now, the photo we have of them, the one photo we have for FlyFam was
it's not the official one, but it's the one they gave me.
It's the one we got. It's the one we got. And you know what? We also got is one final series ahead of us. You guys will pilot this. You'll land the plane at the airport nice and safe. I don't know either. I'm going to go take a nap since I'm normally the pilot. Out of here. Bye.
How do pilots, like, is there an eject button? No, we're not going to eject out of this plane.
Not for commercial planes, I'm sorry.
Not yet. Marcel and Beatdown here in the last game of the series, or at least season here, last series of the season. And it's exciting stuff because it is this provisional matchup, right? You have to kind of change expectations. This is the provisional versus provisional. We'll be looking towards the obviously double elim bracket for the playoffs, but also that relegation tournament coming through for both of these teams. Now, we are neck deep into a picks and bans from TLF on the blue side. It is the Lee Sin, the Zaya, and that Annie that we've seen so popular today. From FlyFam on that red side, they ban away the Ashe and City Witties, Karthus, and Elise.
Some respect bans coming through there, and just bouncing off that point you made earlier about provisional versus provisional, and how, you know, the whole point of this is like you're trying to get as good as you can before we get to the promotion relegation tournament. Yeah, it's important because I think both of these teams, remember, in case you've been living under a rock or you're just watching NACL for the first time, I'll let you decide which one is you. The performance in the regular season does not impact whether or not you go to that tournament. It is how the provisional teams do in playoffs. So, you know, it's been that developmental season for these teams, especially at the bottom of the standings, trying to make it there so they can avoid the tournament.
We'll see, actually, with some of these picks already coming off. Something that City Witty has gone to a lot here is the Vi. A little bit of facilitation for him, but the double lock-in of FlyFam is the Jax and the Gragas. So a little bit of flexibility in the Gragas. We all know Lunacia loves that Jax.
Oh yeah, we saw it in the clips. He's a monster on this champion, and he is not second, I think third in solo kills the last time I checked. Really good in the
Even
individual
with Fake God getting like
1v1s.
7 of them today.
Yeah, true. We might have to double check those numbers. That did happen.
Ooh, we get the Senna Cho'Gath.
We get the Choggers. Finally.
Choggers?
Yes. You know,
But
like
you gotta add Senna in there too.
okay,
Senna out.
Senna Choggers?
No. Is that like an emote maybe? I don't know. We'll
Maybe
figure it out.
maybe that's like it sounds like a brand of something. Like a
Brand
drink.
of something. Okay. Maybe we'll look into that. Maybe Arcane Season
figure
2.
it
We'll see what
That
the
would actually be
final
so
fate
good.
of the first phase is, or first pick at least is. Now I do see the Sejuani being a pretty big pick for Hyper in terms of that facilitation, much like the Vi is on the other side for City Witty.
This is really kind of FlyFab's kind of FlyFab's draft is kind of funny to me, Lennon, because usually people kind of leave the Gragas pick up in the air, like, oh, where's it gonna go? But like FlyFab have immediately taken their top in their jungle, and we're like, okay, one of two things is happening here. Yeah, it's like either it's not top Sedge because we have.
Did we ever see Sejuani bot support? I'm pretty sure we did.
No.
Not
this way.
not anytime recently, but I would love to see maybe a little bit of adaptation, not in that fashion, but now in the second phase of bans, finding this focus because the Jace is already off the table. FlyFam saying they don't want to deal with that one. The Caitlyn, though, is the focus for TLF. They're trying to ease up the bot lane matchup a little bit.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for the Varus ban too. And FlyFam's side, I mean, the Jace ban makes a lot of sense. You want to remove that one more in mid lane than anything else, I think, because Aspect has been playing it, and it kind of makes me think that Gragas is going to be going into the mid lane, or it's a gigantic bait, and it's Gragas support for sword. And
I did just get an update from Magical, by the way. Sejuani support was 100 Thieves Academy with Kelsey Moser was the
there
code.
you go.
I knew it was somewhere in my brain. I was like, I know that happened. It happened, but we're going to digress off that one. The Olaf is that final ban, though, for FlyFam. So definitely trying to set themselves up as they had kind of split priority between the teams in the first phase.
Oh, okay. So the Aphelios takeaway, it's also good. In Instinct, Zaya is out of the picture. He's looked really good on. Zeri is still there. You do need some kind of, I was going to say hyper carry, but I mean, Kalista would go crazy too, as long as you win out the early game.
Gotta be. Like, it has to be. If Zeri is up, it's just such a safe pick.
It is. And then at this point, you have plenty of go buttons. Like, you can go Zeri and go Lulu on the last pick, and, like, it's perfectly fine. You're playing to scale, too. The thing is, Senna Cho'Gath scaled really, really well, but overall, FlyFam's comp is really good for supporting the Zeri.
There's a lot of damage, though, now from the Azir in the mid lane for Aspect. Also something he's tended to go towards, as well as a comfort pick for him. We'll see what the kind of counter pick is going to be here for the support role for FlyFam. It's definitely looking at the rest of the table and figuring out what will be the last lock-in for TLF and what exactly we will see trying to get out of this top lane at least.
Right, and could be... Oh, so it is the Ezreal lock-in. So it is actually Cho'Gath top.
Let's go!
I mean... Good, you're making use of that flex value on TLF side, and you're playing a bot lane with, I mean, no CC, really? So you have a pretty safe lane here, which is why Sword says, forget about the Lulu, forget about enchanters, I'm going in, baby. I want blood. And I respect that, because FlyFam, this CC, it's like actually terrifying. Like how much all-in they have. And that's the thing I like about FlyFam, especially the way they've been drafting lately, because I keep saying this, when you're struggling, going for these simpler teamfight compositions is perfect. Like,
it really is.
You guys can work on working together. You have very easy ways to play the game. And it works out really well for you here. So TLF, they have ways to teamfight, but it's not as straightforward. Like, you're leaning more towards your top side. And to be fair, what we always say, if Surdy and City are doing well, TLF is doing well.
And Surdy in not as much of that like giant point of pressure, but he will be giant at some point and be pressureful because it is not like that Fiora or the Jax that we're seeing from him. He is adapting to a little bit more tankier setup, and I love to see that where we're seeing a lot of onus on the team play, and as we've come so far into the season, those are opt-ins that I'm excited to see them take. It is a bar of execution that has to be met as we hit the rift here, but it is something that we'll have to see if they can pan out. Now, spam in chat who you think is going to take this win. TLF for Team Liquid, and FLYF or FlyFam, and a little bit of a level 1 stack for FlyFam themselves.
I like it. Just making sure no shenaniganeries. As Magical has coined.
Oh, shout out.
Yeah, shout out to Mad Magical. Even I'm saying it now. I've heard like almost everyone on the broadcast team say it at some point. And it's spreading. And speaking of, the faith in FlyFam is spreading. I know they're not CLG, but now they're the ones who are taking the votes there in the Twitch chat. But it's neck and neck.
This is Surdy's second competitive Cho'Gath game. Obviously playing it earlier on in the split as well. Here, I guess it was just like this last time around. But now we apparently get Bree rejoining us. Finished my coursework for the day. Time to spam tweet at NACL. Well, welcome back, Bree. I hope your homework went well. But we are now looking at the homework that TLF and FlyFam have put together for this final day of games for them before they have to get ready for playoffs.
I'm just going to really quickly say, choosing schoolwork over NACL, kind of cringe, to be honest. But I mean, that's just me.
Beat down.
That's just me, though.
No, not. Quick little nomenclature. Go to school, kids. Go to school.
Yeah, of course, go to school, of course. It's very, very important, very important. The school of NACL, obviously, Lennon.
Oh, my God.
I don't know who. Professor Magical,
God.
TA Beatdown. All right, I'm done, I promise.
Yeah, okay. We'll let you have that one. We'll let you have
Thank you.
We are seeing a little bit of that opposite side starts for both City Witty and Hyper. And something else I love to see kind of is that opt-in to kind of knowing where their strengths are and try to path towards that. Maybe even not going for these necessarily aggressive skirmishes towards jungle, but trying to get that proactivity through lane.
Right, and part of that is aspect with the Zazir that we haven't really touched on yet. I mean, nerfed on this patch, but is still pretty good in lane. You have that range advantage, so you can get the wave shove, even though Aspect is trading a lot of his health to do so. It just gives more of those openings for City.
That's a double CC there, though, landing. Not much traded back. Obviously, LJX and Rovek's not going to have a lot of damage early, especially with the way the wave was stacked there. Hard for LJX on the Ezreal to get a lot of the damage down. Could still be that early trades here. Lunacia actually going pretty heavily into Surdy.
Oh, yeah.
It was so interesting talking to Lunacia. Obviously, we got to see the interview there, but it really has been such a growing lesson for him throughout this whole year and using every one of that as now Sword, speaking of growing, might be able to get the CC chain enough in bottom lane, but it isn't. You do see the at least heal and the ignite burned by FlyFam. Hyper has made his way mid on Aspect, and Aspect gets first blooded. How did that even happen? We're gonna have to take a replay of that one.
I mean, Aspect was forced to blow his flash earlier, so it was easy for Hyper to go ahead and secure the kill. There was no escape. And I mean, FlyFam, they're getting everything they want in this early game. The big thing, too, like talking about what Soul has done in the bottom side, which I will talk about after, we're going to see it. It was a gank from Hyper. I mean, you're on the Sejuani.
He's just wrapped
that
back
is banned
around.
so often. Yeah, I mean, realistically, it was that insta ward place. So Hyper is just
that
like,
was pretty greedy from Aspect, though.
Yeah. The wave was coming to you and everything. You get punished for it heavily.
Oh, no! Not again!
Oh, he's back!
It's a pig from the bush! Run away, Aspect, run away.
This is tough. I mean, the wave is going to come back, Aspect, eventually, but this pressure making it harder and harder for the Azir. I mean, again, nerfed on the patch, using it for the lane pressure here as Aspect. And we got to see what how City can make use of it, because you have that ability. Go for a little more aggressive plays and invades, but Instinct and Sword, they're trading very aggressively on the bot side. And I want to really quickly bring up that point, because in FlyFam's wins, especially their recent one, where they made that comeback against Immortals Challengers, a lot of that was Hyper and Sword syncing up. Lennon, we talk about jungle support duos and moving together, setting up plays. I mean, most recently on the day, we talked about Tomio and Zeyzal. Well, Hyper and Sword were able to do something similar. And they're playing these same champions where they can just lock someone down and set up Instinct to succeed.
I do want to see that at least for Instinct as well, who is in a position of power on the Zeri. Just needs to get maybe some resources and some time. For FlyFam, I feel like are comfortable with that. And maybe a little bit of onus on TL first here. But they themselves, it seems like, are okay with that as well. There's some serious stacking, at least in late game scaling on both sides. And speaking of stacking, we have another stack to keep track of Beatdown, as has been the theme of the day.
Okay. Oh, that's right. This time it's
Little
the
baby
feast
Cho'Gath
stack.
is evolving.
Yes, and I mean, okay, to be fair, there's also a Senna for Rovex, but I am more excited about the Cho'Gath because it's new. We haven't seen that yet today.
We have not, which...
You know what we have seen?
Oh?
Hyper ganking the mid lane.
We definitely have seen that one. Well, maybe one too many times. But
Well, Hyper doesn't seem to think so.
doesn't seem to think so. Now the cask has been reached. The Emperor's Divide nicely used by Aspect, but he can't get out of that one, and Hyper gets himself a second kill of the game. And they're going to push in this wave as well.
Wow. That's all I have to say. This attention has been incredible from Hyper early on. He's been... I mean, bot lane is going well naturally. Top lane is going fine for Lunacia. So he is having the impact where it matters most. Mid as that ranged into melee matchup there for Aspect. And it's just a matchup he has no control over anymore. Blaze has 2 assists. They have control over this Dragon Pit. And I mean, we're posturing, but we're not actually stealing this. You know those ones?
Those ones, right? Those ones. City Witty, I don't know if you got the memo. Oh, flashes over the wall, still dies. Blaze gets the dragon, gets the kill.
Yeah, he must have missed the ping there. That was a brutal one. Gives away his life, gives his flash, and still loses the dragon. That's 2-0 for the Sejuani. Not the most hyper carry of champions, but is going to get tankier and tankier as a result. And this is a strong start for FlyFam. Usually how it goes for them, it's the later on where we get concerned. But I mean, from what we've seen lately, Lennon, maybe we don't even have to be concerned for that.
Maybe, as Hyper has made himself a little bit relevant in this early part.
Still has
Maybe
ult.
dodging a little bit of those CCs, but it doesn't matter because Instinct gets the kill.
Wow, and Hyper is so disciplined, holding on to that Glacial Prison. Didn't use it mid, didn't need to use it bot. Just has that opportunity to use it somewhere else. And we have this Rift Herald coming up in about 30 seconds time. Him with Blaze's ult coming off of cooldown, with Lunacia with the Sheen and getting past level 6. FlyFam are very much favored in this Rift Herald fight.
I'm wondering now how, I guess, they try to move as quickly as possible down this way. I mean, you're already seeing the roam from Swords set up, and I think a lot of that forward engage is going to be available. You have so much CC and so many things to look out for when your FlyFam is kind of joining the party. And they will just be able to take this down with no real response from Team Liquid.
Yeah, just with everything they've lost so far, TLF have to let it go. And it's, again, a strong start for FlyFam. We talk about how these affiliate teams, they've had struggles so far this split. And the improvement, slowly but steadily, not reflecting in match wins, but reflecting in some of their play.
Rovex luckily has the Shroud. Maybe Sword trying to find a little bit of something, but doesn't have that dredge line any longer. Quickly out of there is Rovex. And I think no damage, no harm foul, I guess, except for the 4 kills to FlyFam early.
Right, and I mean, this is good because you get Rovex out of the lane. LJX is still walking back to lane. So you get to just get this wave shoved in. Yeah, you don't get the kill, but I like that Instinct doesn't blow the flash to make it happen. He'll have that available if he should need it later on. And it's just been some good stuff for FlyFam these early minutes. I mean, 4-0, 9 minutes in. Team Liquid first. This early game needed to be theirs, even though you have, of course, this bot lane looking to play safe, looking to scale. But you look at this top side, a lot of playmaking potential between this vibe, between this Azir, and FlyFam did so much work to make sure all Aspect could ever hope and dream of is farming his minions. He's like, please, no, I don't want to make any plays. That would upset FlyFam. I'm just here to farm, I promise.
Yeah, and hoping to kind of continue doing so. I am definitely looking at the Rift Herald usage now from Hyper and see if they want to put any point of pressure down in Blaze or Instinct some more. But Blaze is saying, let's go party down bot lane. I'm bringing the keg.
That's right, there's vision. They do know he's there, but does it matter, Lennon? I'm going to say no, because again, the all-in is about to come to fruition here. If LJX and Rovex aren't careful, Rovex especially with no summoner spells, they will lose their lives, but they call off the play. Instead, they want to answer this mid wave, and, oh, City.
Not gonna be able to
What's gonna
at least
happen?
find anything. And yeah, slow and steady as she goes. And now Lunacia actually hitting that Grandmasters, going in on a Surdy. Flash is coming out, but the Leaf Strike's still available. There's the Rupture. Lunacia, he doesn't go back for it. Surdy barely gets out alive.
Nice little sidestep.
Oh, but here comes the reinforcements. Lunacia, you've overstayed. You didn't get the memo.
He doesn't know.
Run away. He doesn't know. They're coming from
just leaf
inside the
striked.
walls. Oh, Aspect gets the kill, and FlyFam get punished on the top side. Maybe they can
But what
respond with the play on the bottom
happens?
side.
Exactly. Jungler shows top. You have the Herald. You have the whole team bot side.
TP coming in from Aspect. Might be able to get a little bit of defense, but it still is that charge going through and some gold
Remember,
over to
no
Instinct.
shuffle. There's no shuffle.
That was
Oh,
a
it's
double,
the
that was
double teleport.
TP. I was like, wait, what? There's so many people here.
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Wow, that is a huge commitment
They
there,
could force
but
the
a
play here.
necessary one.
There's
They could.
backs coming through.
Oh, they
Rovex.
want it.
Okay, they stopped it. They stopped it. It's still a 4v3. This might work out for TLF. They're pouncing on Blaze. He does get out with his flash. Instinct has finally joined to even up the odds.
Wow, I mean, that's ambitious, but I respect it. It gets they have to flash on Blaze, which is fine, but you get another plate on Instinct, and I like this. It's spotted out, but again, this is the bot lane. Increasingly more confident and aggressive, looking for these brush plays, even though it doesn't work out here.
We're looking a little bit where that gold is early, about 2.2k in advantages. FlyFam still off a lot of those kills. And a little bit of CS lead, I guess, in bot lane and top lane, but not much else. It will be the second dragon going to FlyFam, though.
And it's just FlyFam continuing to get these early wins, stacking objectives left, right, and center, and they've controlled everything so far. And they're just going to earn more stats because of it. The gold lead is starting to come through. You get the Cloud Drake that Blaze is, of course, just going to help escort, making 100% certain no shenanigans end up happening. Only one. Len and I only said it once.
You only said it once. It's okay.
You're only getting one.
You know, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, you know, sometimes you get. Oh, there you go. You got a little bit of input.
Yeah, it's true. That actually makes a lot of sense. It is only for level ones. I never actually put that together until now. The more you know.
And more you know, the more you learn, the more you grow.
Oh,
that's what we're all about here in the NACL as we close this season, at least in the regular season, out today. This is the last series here on the Challengers League, and maybe we get a little bit of a banger as Aspect dodging away from that engage. Does go for his own engage, and Hyper comes across the wall with the Glacial Prison, donning Shadow across the wall, and now you get the Sure Shot Barrage as well. Hyper's already on a killing spree. Silly Witty and the rest of TLF get one trade back at least. I'm going to find the Rupture onto Hyper. Blaze went down, but Aspect traded as well.
And so it is a 1-for-1. This time, it's a good move from Surdy. He takes that opportunity. He's going to be able to catch most of this wave as well. Lunacia, on the other hand, though, he is going to get a lot of damage onto this turret. Will pick up that plate. And it was just to go even on that play with FlyFam. This has still been a very FlyFam-focused early game. And oh my god, Lennon Instinct solo gets first brick in the turret plate. He literally just picked up 700 gold in that 1 second when we switched the camera over to him. This is unbelievable.
That's actually incredible. Oh my god, he's 2,000 gold up now. And we said, you know, why not go with the Zeri? Because it is just that strong, right? Yes, the bar of execution a little bit lower. You still have to hit it. But my goodness, if you do, this champion just lights up the Rift.
And Instinct, he's getting everything plugged in, getting ready to turn the lights on because he's getting so close to that second item spike. I mean, you already see the BF sword on top of the Mythic. He's going to have it ahead of schedule because of everything that's been going on. All the attention on that bottom side of the map. And yeah, LJX, Rovex, they scale well. They'll do a lot of damage later. But like TSM taught us early on, it doesn't matter if you fall too far behind early. And TLF have fallen behind 4,000 gold.
That's a lot to come back from early on, especially sub 15 minutes. FlyFam going to put the pressure on even more, take this other Rift Herald for themselves, and continuing to have no response really from TLF.
Now we're just seeing a
They're
slow
just
bleed out.
stacking. They're just watching, the stacks pile in while sitting on the porch.
TLF, they spent all their money on movie tickets. That's what's going on. Like,
what movies?
They're watching the movie. It's like what's the word? It's a trilogy. Where we lose all our objectives.
Oh, that doesn't sound
1,
like
2,
a
and
good
3.
trilogy. Oh, Instinct now. That's the trilogy. They need to refund their tickets here. I don't know, Beatdown.
It's too late. They're non-refundable, Lennon.
No. Well, Instinct is coming to put that ticket, and now you got the Rift Herald spot in mid lane for FlyFam.
That's right. And, oh man, they're in a lot of trouble here. They want to fight.
The combo. City Witty just trying to use Blaze to get out, but he can't do it. The cast goes through. LJX does buffer that arcane shift nicely. See if they can stop the Rift Herald. It does get the charge off, though, in the end.
Yeah, and, I mean, man, this has just been an unbelievable game. Hyper, Aspect has suffered enough. Leave him alone. Thank you. I think it's just unbelievable what FlyFam have been able to do. And I'm going to say it, this early game from them, kind of clean, which is like really good, a really good development for this FlyFam roster. Not only are they finding leads early on, but they're transitioning them into mid-game leads, Lennon. The 14-minute mark was always what we talked about here, being the bane of FlyFam. And it seems like that is no more.
Yeah, and I love to see that kind of adaptation. Also, back to the stacking aspect, because that's always important.
Of course.
Surdy has picked up the Heartsteel. So we got more stacking. Woo! We're stacking it up for the late season push. And now, actually, TLF actually moving a lot around this dragon. Want to stop the soul point potentially from TLF.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't talked about it, but the nice thing about Cho'Gath too is that your Beast is so good at helping you secure objectives. So getting there first and starting things up is how TLF can start to secure these things. Yeah, he can join. He's got a lot of gold. I think he's going to look to back soon and then go for the teleport.
See City Witty waiting in the pixel brush here. We'll catch Blaze out in transition as Blaze in a little bit of trouble trying to get away, but the Emperor's Divide pushes him right to his death. And now Rovex almost half health. True Shot Barrage comes across from LJX, and TLF move onto the dragon. Ludacia finds the big flank, finds the triple there with the counter strike. And they've already got Rovex gone. Hyper trying to lock down the rest of them. Surdy getting low. Surdy going down. They're trading, but that's a double triple to Ludacia. And he's looking for a quadra. He doesn't get the penta, but it's FlyFam that destroy TLF.
They demolish Team Liquid first as they secure their third Drake soul point. And they get themselves a 7,000 gold lead. FlyFam have been dominating nonstop. And I mean, this is the comp we talked about in Champ Select. You're ready to fight. You have so much all in. It is unbelievable. And it's all about making space for Instinct. They go in because Blaze gets caught out, but you have so much gold and Lunacia on the way that it doesn't matter. FlyFam, they waited for their top laner so well.
Dude, the Lunacia flank with the triple counter strike, and then it's just a front to back that we've seen work so well for Zeri comps, and it works just as well this time around. I love that Surdy's able to get a shutdown with the feast, but in the end, it's Lunacia who's just picking apart these fights, and what a back and forth where we put so much focus on these two guys, Lunacia and Surdy, going at each other in these team fights.
Right, and it's just been all Lunacia. You see the early Spear of Shojin coming through here. Lunacia is going to be a problem in the side lane. He's going to be a menace. Like, no one can 1v1 him at this point. He has the Divine Sunder as well. He has the double buffs that he picked up from that fight on top of the Quadra kill. It's just brutal. The map is there for FlyFam, and oh my gosh, they are just waiting for LJX to slip up.
Doom, doom. Ludacia. Oh my! Is he the shark that bites back? Oh no! I think he got eaten.
They got him.
That's a shutdown to LJX.
Like 750 gold. It's a nice catch up, a nice play there from FlyFam. They are going to lose out on the tier 2, but this is how you play when you're as behind as they are. You all in on the side lane, hope to get a pick, and then you have your mid laner in this case push it out. so that they have more of an opportunity to move into their own jungle to clear out the vision. Because look at that top side, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of red.
That's crazy.
Rivers run red, but at this point, it's the jungles run red.
Yeah, with wards. And unfortunately, Aspect doesn't actually get the turret. But, you know, you're getting the wave in. That's the big thing.
So, at least at this point, it should be the reset that comes through for FlyFam. They have a big lead, but I would expect them to kind of wait for this these objectives really to be front and center for them. Looks like they are collapsing around this top side where the vision they had was so strong. And I expect, you know, waiting for another 2 minutes, 40 seconds, go secure that Hextech Soul and move back out of the Rift to finish this game.
See, Lennon, I know what you're saying, the cleanness, the caution. I respect it, the stacking, but they should just start the Baron. They're so strong. It's so ridiculous.
Nope, they're going to kill LJX instead.
You know what? That's fine.
Goodbye.
Point is, not waiting. That's what I wanted to see from FlyFam. Push the pace. You have so much gold. You can literally do whatever you want. It's crazy. And now that they have LGX out of the picture, they can just take out this top tier too. But I mean, at this point, guys, just do the Baron. Seriously. You're so strong. Please just do the Baron.
They are pinging onto it now.
Let's go!
Instinct has started out saying, guys, I'm doing the Baron. 406 has the right to at this point. 2 items up, as well as FlyFam just really, really strongly in the lead here. I feel like TLF still hoping on, living on for a prayer here. But they're stacking, but is it going to be enough? And in time is the biggest question.
Lord, TLF, there isn't much for them left to pray for, Lennon. I'm going to be honest. It's looking doomed. We're 9K up on FlyFam's side. And again, I favored them in this late game because of their ability to front to back. And just look at the gold differences here. Like, we're at minimum 2K on every role except support. But I mean, you know, support. Who cares? Don't at me, support players. You know I'm right.
Please add him. It's at Beatdown Boulevard.
It's not even that. Got him.
Well, you know.
Someone has it, and they haven't tweeted in, like, literally 9 years.
Sag. I think mine's about the same. I don't remember. I don't know. It's some older
Something
person.
crazy and unacceptable.
But, you know, we are seeing a setup here where FlyFam front and center around the Dragon like we expected them to be. And they are on Soul Point, so it makes them want to go ahead and finish this one in terms of getting that objective and getting the permanent buffs. Hyper maybe get a little bit of trouble here. Dodging out of Surdy, though. Nicely done. And I don't think TLF really can chase the rest of this, even though they try to force it.
Hyper literally just walked
They just were walking next to each other. They literally like, touched each other.
Yeah, literally just, you know, brush shoulders. And then Surdy's like, yo, what'd you say? He's like, hey, man, I'm chill. And just walked it out. Didn't even care for the skirmish. And while all this is happening, Lunacia in the side lane, being that monster, being that menace, he has the Baron buff, and he's going to recall. He's looking to spend that gold, definitely looking to TP to this fight.
Engage coming through as the Rupture did connect on his back, though, but not enough. Cease and desist on Instinct. The Emperor's Divide. They don't have the combo, though, and now they're getting picked apart. Instinct is finally able to layer some damage down. Lunacia again with another flank and another decimating team fight by FlyFam.
And it's just been non-stop domination for FlyFam. The only one left is Surdy, and he is not long for this world.
He's getting stunned down, locked down, and Lem from Lem will be pulled apart as the ace comes through and FlyFam extend their lead to 13,000, 23 minutes and 44 seconds in.
What an incredible game from FlyFam. They have their soul, they have everything they want, and it's honestly been, like, I'm serious, it's been clean. It's been solid from this team so far. That's the improvement that we were hoping to see going into playoffs. And I want to tell you something. I want to say something really quick about FlyFam. FlyQuest is comfy in their nest, playing so good they must be possessed. The other team is now depressed, hearts pounding through their chest in a state of unrest. FlyQuest is the best. Who could have guessed? There's simply no contest. Everyone is impressed. Whole team is blessed, and soon they can rest.
What a copy pasta.
I know. I got it from someone on chat on Saturday. It's great.
Nice. That is actually incredible. Now, we are looking at the replay of that fight and exactly how the early fight from TLF was kind of duped again by Lunacia's flank.
Yeah, it's been so hard to keep up with the vision that FlyFam have been placing.
Ooh,
And
City Witty is gone. Instinct is godlike. The rest of TLF actually make it out alive there. Ford was coming around for the engage, but doesn't find it. Or maybe he does. Okay, Dreadslide connects. Surdy is now the brunt of the damage. The AoE is coming through, but the cast from the top. It's an alley-oop from FlyFam. And they can't chase down Surdy as Instinct trying to get LJX here under tower. I don't know if that's necessarily what you want to go. Mystic shot from LJX. And that is one back as well. 2 going down from FlyFam, but Lunacia, he's back doing Lunacia things.
Yeah, we go a little bit too deep there, Hyper. It happens to the best of us. But realistically, the gold diff speaks for itself. Bottom inhibitor is going down. Top inhibitor is coming up.
3 items.
He's on 3 items, Lennon. And so is Instinct. These guys have just been tearing it up all game. Now Lunacia is going to take his prize. That's his red buff.
And again, for the TLF side, and especially Surdy coming this one, we talked about a little bit of the track record between him and Lunacia, but this was an important weekend for Surdy. He was saying, I want a 4-0 next week. Even last week when I was talking to him, he's like, yeah, this week is something, but I'm really looking towards next week, right? Looking towards those provisional versus provisional matchups. And so on this Cho'Gath, he's going to need to pull out some miracles, some of that stacking buff coming through if they can get a way back in. But at this point, it doesn't seem like that's even possible. It's 15,000 FlyFam have gathered for themselves over Team Liquid First.
Yeah, I mean, him and Rovex would need a tremendous amount of stacks to overcome what FlyFam have for themselves right now. And again, it's just been a great resurgence for FlyFam in how they,
Truly.
Yeah, of course it's against TLF, but also like the fact that the gameplay has been good from this team, and that steady improvement we've been seeing all split long is just so amazing.
Seeing the siege come down, at least for FlyFam now. At least the Sun Disc is there to save the day for TLF, at least right now. Be getting pushed in. There's 2 super minions in the bottom side pushing in as well. They should lose this Sun Disc as Lunacia looking for a flank always. They go for the full frontal assault though, and that option works too. You have multiple avenues at the cast now, making all those avenues apparent. And FlyFam will take down TL first in the game number 1 of our last series of the day. One last ace should come through. And what a comeback from FlyFam. They won't get Surdy, but they'll get everything else.
They get the base. They win this race in game 1. And Blaze, oh my god, he is risking it all for that last pick. But don't worry, the Nexus has gone down. FlyFam, game 1, and I'm going to say it, Lennon, dominating fashion.
Yeah, it absolutely was dominant fashion. We are going to take a little break here. We'll have a halftime bit with Magical on the other side, so don't you go anywhere.